Hello and welcome to GPTV on, what date is it?
That's the 5th of February, Phil.
5th of February? Hey, the 5th of February?
Yep.
Are you telling me we're doing the first GPTV of the year on your birthday?
We are.
Happy birthday. If I
Thanks
wasn't driving, drinking a coffee, I'd actually... I'd actually lean over and wish you happy birthday.
Is it legal to actually have a coffee there?
There is no question that the Victorian police are going to be looking at this GPTV and going, and I think I've only got 1 point on my licence.
Well, real estate agents love watching this, so they're going to dob you in, you can be sure of that.
There's no question.
And demand action.
There's no question our competitors will be doing this.
Yep.
Now, here we are, Gary. We're about to turn in from Kieran Street into Hawthorne Road.
You know, you're such a bad driver. This is not a good idea.
I know. Can you take my coffee?
Oh, my God.
You can drink the coffee.
Don't touch it again.
So, Gary, here we are in a new year.
Hey, yeah, it's a new year. Happy New Year, bro.
Fantastic. May 2019 be our best and biggest year ever.
Look, this is like comedians driving around in cars, isn't there a series?
Seinfeld, my favourite, my absolute
comedians driving around in cars.
Favourite.
It's exactly the same, except we're not funny. It's the only difference.
We're not funny.
And we're not getting paid.
We're not
and you
funny.
put the wipers on. What are you doing?
We're not funny. We're not famous.
Hang on, what are you doing
We're
here?
nothing. We're nobody.
Why have you pulled over? I'm
going to do a U-turn.
No, you can go a bit further. You don't have to just stop here. You go, well, why don't you go to one of the beautiful sites?
So tell me,
show the viewers something interesting.
Let's talk 2019, Gary. What an amazing year 2018 was. A few words of reflection. What would you say? What would you say to the viewers about 2018?
I'm just worried about your driving at the moment. What would I say to the viewers? Philip, it was a year that had to happen. It was like the recession that we had to have. It was like Paul Keating talked about the recession we had to have. Well, that was the market adjustment we had to have. So it's been adjusted. Yep. So could there be one more article written about how bad the property market is anywhere? Because, the only place that I'm looking for good news is the racing section of the paper. And, of course, you've got Darren Weir's been busted. My mate Dazza, he's gone.
Haven't you got a horse with Darren Weir?
No, I haven't got anything with Darren Weir. And in fact, Phil, how about this? My horse got beaten by Darren Weir's horse by that much. So am I right to be bitter about that? I think so. I think I'm right to be bitter.
You know what, Gary, let's get back to real estate. Yep. I mean, the reality is that 2018 was a market correction year.
Yeah, it was.
And we've seen this many times before, Gary.
But not that quick. It was very quick, Phil. Come on,
so
it was very quick.
It was quicker, it was more sudden.
Say the truth.
Okay, calling a spade, the reality is that the market corrected, as it always does at the end of every real estate boom. We've seen this before, and all I can say is that I reckon 2019 will be a year where people will look back on and saying, you know what, we should have bought in 2019.
Predictions for 2019? Talk to me about it.
Okay, my prediction is that it's probably going to be a difficult year, but it's going to be a difficult year where we will prosper. Yep. I think that it's going to be a back to basics year. I think that those vendors that get their price right from the first day of their campaign will do well. Those that take a week, 2 or 3 to get it right, they're going to struggle.
Tell you what I found very interesting. I found very interesting that so many of the vendors that we've met and so many vendors that have entrusted us with a home already this year, they just want the truth. Yep. They just want the truth now. They're sick of agents with all their schmick, marketing and everything. They just give us the truth, tell us the facts, what can we get, what's real, what's reasonable. And I think we're very good at doing that, Philip. We're very good at calling it as it is.
Can we spend a moment just talking about this fantastic coffee van that we've got? We've got 2 of these, Gary.
Do you need a special licence to drive this?
Yeah, you do, and I'm pretty sure I haven't got one,
but it
doesn't matter. I'm down to 1 point on my licence.
I'm not surprised. That's probably 1 too many, I reckon.
How often do you get points? Every 3 years
Have you started quoting a driver yet? Have you got a quote for a driver?
Do you know, I've worked this out. I've got a couple of my mates are Uber drivers, and I've worked out that when I do lose that last point, that I will be Uber driven around in my car for...
Tell me the profile of the driver. Have you got a certain profile in mind? Could you go on, is there an online, like, beautiful-drivers.com that you can pick some beautiful drivers? They don't have to be beautiful looking, beautiful people.
Do you know
interesting people?
We've had a couple of great Uber stories, Gary. Uber stories where one of our great Uber mates, a fellow by the name of Joe.
Yeah, Joe the Uber man. You want a good Uber man?
Joe's the man. Give us a call and we'll give you his number.
Yeah, we will.
Joe was the guy that got us a big listing in Elstonwick.
He did.
From delivering people home, talking real estate. Good on you, Joe. Shout out to him.
Exactly right. Can you sponsor Uber?
Tell me about your summer.
Maybe we should.
Tell me about your summer. Did you have a good summer?
Look, I think there's some profound differences coming through between you and me, because this is what it is. I've worked it out. This is what it is to be your partner. To be your partner, I was crook most of summer and I stayed in Australia, right?
Yeah.
And that's a year of working with you. Let's have a year of let's talk about your summer. A year of working with me. Fit, happy, healthy, and win overseas. Who's got the better partner? I just want to leave with that. Just saying.
So,
how about that?
So I do wanted to say that I got back from holidays yesterday, and viewers, I was very fortunate to go to Whistler for a skiing holiday with my wife and my two boys.
It's good to be a Kingston viewers.
But the day we left, there was a thing called a polar vortex, Gary.
Yeah, what is that?
Where in Whistler the temperature dropped to -18.
Did you put on an indicator when you went around there? Another point gone.
So I left from -18 and arrived in some 24 hours later in Melbourne to 38 degrees. So if you add those two together, it's an extreme of 56 degrees. We went from polar vortex to absolute melting hot Melbourne.
That can't be great for your health either.
I wouldn't have thought so.
No when you stop suddenly like that and the whole van shakes, is that the fridge? Is that the fridge that's just flying through?
It's the fridge sliding forward.
I saw something drop out the back.
Shout out to the coffee crew, Gary. Do you know that we've got two of these vans?
How many people on the coffee crew?
It's got a staff of 20. And I was talking to the managers of the coffee van crew.
They're good crew.
It's become so
Beautiful
large
people.
and so popular amongst young university students. They're doing an induction program at our new residential collection centre, where there is a whole induction program. And they were talking with me the other day about how that they do script and dialogue training to ensure that I'm telling you, if you go to this.
And why don't we start them in real estate? Bring them out.
What do you think? Why do you think we've got a coffee crew, Gary?
Oh, is that it?
This is the training ground for real estate agents, because everybody knows real estate agents and coffee.
Yes.
You can't be a real estate agent if you're a tea drinker.
No, indeed. You're right. Well, that's very interesting. Well done on that. And well done, the Kingston boys, who had so much to do with it. Very proud of those boys. I don't know. Somehow you brought up good boys. I don't know.
Define the odds, really. I mean, when you've got a father like me.
Yeah, but the mother's good.
The mother, very strong genes, Gary, very strong genes.
She's tough, but she's good. She knows her stuff.
What's your goal for 2019?
Look, Philip, get rid of this cold that I've been battling with for a little while. Let's not burn myself again.
Let's talk about your number one personal goal and your number one professional goal for 2019.
Philip, I haven't thought that far ahead, you know. I mean, we're just here now. It's sort of, there's a Talise sign of ours there. Look, Philip, I haven't really thought about it. I'm just, just do the best I can. You know what my goal is? I'll tell you what my goal is. My goal is to add value to all of our offices. That's my goal for 2019. That's what I want to do.
And so that's your personal goal. That's your
my professional goal.
What about your personal goal, Gary?
My personal goal is to probably just stay healthy, Philip, or get healthy. Because, I'm not that healthy in terms of my lifestyle. And not that I'm a big drinker or anything, but the cigars, I don't think they're good for me,
well,
Philip.
You do sound very cigar-y.
And would it surprise you to know that I was out last week at Melbourne's only cigar bar with my doctor, having a cigar?
Do you know what? You're the only bloke that has a doctor that goes out with you personally and smokes cigars.
And I love him. He's the best guy. Anyway, and we stopped. He rang through a subscription to the chemist, the midnight chemist, so we got it on the way home.
Do you know, only you could find that doctor.
Come on, what about you?
So my personal goals? Yeah, my personal goals is I'm going to be calmer. I've decided I'm going to invest some time and activity in being calmer than I am. That's my personal goal.
Excellent.
And my professional goal, Gary, is that I've decided that this year I'm going to form a lunch club where I take 5 team members out for lunch. So it's going to be I'm going to call it the table for 6, and I'm going to have a table for 6. So every week I'm going to have lunch with 5 of our team members, and we're just going to have a round table about how to live a better life.
And you'll split the cost with all them, mate. It hasn't been a good year last year, Phil. I presume you'll split the cost. I mean, they've got you a company, the pleasure. There's no fee for that, no royalty.
And I'll just regale them with interesting stories, life anecdotes.
Exactly. I'm sure they'll all be queuing up for that one.
Yeah, you can imagine. The first table will be a sellout. The second one is going to be like, I'm going to be sitting at the table on my own, and there's going to be all these beeps going, held up on an appointment, my horse died, don't have a clean handkerchief.
Exactly right, mum's not well, all of that
the
sort
dog
of stuff.
ate my homework.
Exactly right, I like all those excuses. Yeah, no, I'll look forward to that. That should be good. And Do they still have Sizzler? I don't know if they still have Sizzler. They do a lunch deal.
Nepean Highway did go to that Sizzler once. I think it's now an office works.
Shall we go into the house we're reviewing, Philip?
I think so.
Because it's enough nonsense. We've talked for too long already. But I just want to say, I do think it'll be a good year in real estate. Obviously, I don't think it'll be a tough year. I think it'll be a good year in real estate. You've asked me for some talk about myself, but I want to talk about the market. I think it'll be a good year. I think the market's adjusted. I think it's a great opportunity for upsizers, and people are taking opportunity of that, Philip. And I think it's going to be a good year. And how about this? First weekend, and listen to this if nothing else, viewers, first weekend of opens, 1,400 people came to our open inspections.
You know what?
How about that? Big numbers out.
You wouldn't have called that, would you?
No.
You just would not
the
have
media's
called
not interested in that story, are they, Phil? They're not interested in that.
No, they don't want a good news story, Gary.
But 700 groups, approximately 1,400 people at our opens. Strap yourself in, Phil. It's going to be a big year.
Talking of strapping yourself in, I just want for the record for you to understand one thing. You've just spent 7 minutes in a car with me. I did not hit one thing.
And it's not like the old days in Coot, because there'd be a cow or a sheep that would fly off the fender. Nothing like that.
Let's go and have a look at the house.
Well, okay, let's do it.
So there's a little bit of a drive, a little bit of a Seinfeld rip-off there, Gary. Do you love that show?
I do love that show. Seinfeld or the comedians in cars?
I love all Seinfelds, but I love comedians in cars drinking coffee. And viewers, if you haven't seen that series, there's about 40 of them, and they are just fantastic.
Very good, aren't they?
Just fantastic.
What about James Corden? Have you seen him in the car?
Yeah.
And you should see him. There's a show with him and Paul McCartney. That's the best, where he's driving around Paul McCartney, and they go just to an old pub and they just start performing.
Really? I haven't seen that one. Must watch it.
Fantastic.
So, viewers, here we are, 2019. As we talked about in the coffee van with two idiots driving around the streets of Caulfield.
One passenger idiot, one driving idiot.
I'm so excited for 2019, Gary, because I just think we're going to achieve so much, regardless of market conditions, whether they be good, bad, or indifferent. I've got a personal objective, Gary, to take our business to a greater height than what it's already been.
Got a couple of big bombs to drop too, Phil. There's a couple of big things happening. One very big thing happening, which is happening over the next couple of months. We have to keep it a little bit under the table at the moment. But we
will release it as a first on GPTV.
Yeah, but what we can say is that we've got a new team member, Phil.
Yes.
Who's joined. Let's put a photo up of him. Welcome to Mark Kirkham, who's just joined Gary Pew and Associates.
Great to have
Lovely.
Mark
welcome back. Welcome back home.
Yep.
We've got a few that have come back home, haven't we?
We've got
Pip Leyland Graves, who's come back to our rentals after a number of years in the wilderness, and we welcome her back home. She's been back already for a while, doing great. But it just seems to be a company people can never really leave.
Do you know what? I just want to have a quick chat about Mark, because Mark has done amazing things in his real estate career.
Yes.
But most importantly, the local residents of Caulfield South will know him very well, because he's really specialised in Caulfield South, really between, I reckon you'd probably say between Glen Huntley Road and North Road.
Right
That's
across,
where he's been very busy.
Right
but whether you're a seller in Eastern Kilda or Bentley or Elston, where Mark has got great expertise, and it is seriously good to have him back as part of the GPA crew.
Welcome home, one of our new recruits, Philip, and more to come. Many things happening, Philip, this weekend. We've got 2 auctions talking about recruits. One of our recruits is going to do his first auction for Gary Pew and Associates. Not his first auction, but his first one for us. So we just have a look at what we've got on this weekend, because Saturday we are at 10:30 in Maroona Road, Carnegie, Lee Samuel Auctions.
Well, Gary, we've always loved Maroona Road, and we sell a lot of property in Maroona Road, and this is a rip snorter of a property. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, beautifully renovated throughout. So if you're in the market for an apartment, whether to live in or an investment, Gary, you could do no better than buying in Maroona Road, which is a great location.
We're back to that traditional real estate term of ours, Philip, the rip snorter.
The rip snorter, Gary.
And the next, of course, we have is a humdinger.
Speaking of a rip snorter, Gary, we did say to the viewers what rip snorting really does come from, and it's a cocaine term. But Jack Watts, the number one recruit in Melbourne, who I always thought was just
clean cut,
a very talented
grammar boy,
very talented footballer, but in my opinion, with no great heart for the ball, was just all over social media, him snorting what appeared to be a white powder off a female's chest.
Yes, from chest.
But you, as an Austrian, you'd be aware of they claim it wasn't cocaine, Gary, that it was a powder that they snort at Oktoberfest.
I must say,
with the simple, and the reason they snort this white powder off women's chests is because it clears out their sinuses.
Yes,
now,
in Austria, look, when you are in Austria, when you are from the hills,
You know, Gary, you'd reckon with the Me Too movement, of which I am a great advocate for and a great supporter for, and hopefully that won't obviously reverberate back on us at some point. But you'd think in the era of the Me Too movement, snorting a chemical off a woman's chest is not really great publicity for the AFL.
Well, you know, look, I think first you have to be Austrian to understand. Now, when you're brought up Austrian as a little baby, you're snorting, right? You're snorting
because you've got sinuses that are clogged.
But it's not cocaine, Philip. It's sugar, it's lemon or schnitzels.
Yeah,
you know, your mother says to you, look, don't eat the lemon, snort the lemon. The schnitzel tastes better that way. Right. They're conditorized, you know. You have to snort sugar.
I think we've done that story to death. Let's move on, Gary.
Phil, we were going to be talking about Delhi Street in Bentley. I don't know if you're aware of it, but Vish Prashad, one of our new recruits, is doing his debut auction for us, although he's done many himself.
He's done many auctions, Gary, so he's a very, very skilled auctioneer.
He joins our team in Bentley. By the way, how hot are our team in Bentley?
I've got to tell you, when you think about our business model for opening in Bentley, we've been wanting to do it for years. And finally, with Leon Guzenfitter and the team, we opened an office. Yes. I don't think we could have asked for a better start.
In a challenging market. We've just been killing it, and Leon is just a machine. Yes, you're right. Absolute gun and doing incredibly well in Bentley, Philip. So Vish is going to be auctioning this wonderful town residence, Philip. It's situated at number 17A, Delhi Street, Bentley. And Phil, we've got a beautiful home of 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, parking for 2, and it looks like a stunning, luxurious property, 4-bedroom plus study, and it's part of the Green Edge Development Group's quality projects. Phil,
Gary, looking forward to that, and looking forward. I'm going to try and get to Vish's auction to show him to raise the flag and give him the support. Not that he'll need it, because as we've said, a very experienced operator.
Good on you, Vish. So an exciting year, wonderful new people, Philip. Exciting energy. We've all had a break and pumped and refreshed and ready for the challenges ahead.
Well, you do not sound all that refreshed.
Well, I did say in the cut, you know, probably the cigars haven't helped. And when I have a holiday, I do have the odd cigar. I don't have a lot. I'm not an addict, not every day. But even half of those big boys, they can really.
I think 2019, Gary, has got to be the year that you give up a number of your vices, and keep in mind there are that many of them. Giving up a number is a very small percentage.
Don't that. What number are we talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Phil, let's talk about property of the week, because we are here. I'm looking in the garden here and the beautiful decking in this spectacular living area, one of a few in this home that we're in, 21 Kieron Street, Caulfield South, one of Caulfield South's best streets.
It is, Gary. Kieron Street, it's a street where there are some $3 million homes in this street, Gary. And if you think about why that would be, it's on a beautiful hill. We've got the tram in Hawthorne Road on the doorstep. We've got the incredible Princess Park, so you can walk out your front door and take the dogs or the kids for a walk in the park. It's just brilliantly located. You've got a cafe, you've got a gym on your doorstep. There's so much to love about Kieron Street, but coming home to this property is nothing short of fabulous, because it's got big entertaining zones. It's really a great entry level price range into South Caulfield, and that back garden just seems to keep on going.
And not only is it big, but it's lush and it's beautiful, Philip, and it's private as well. Got to say, Phil, there's 3 bedrooms here, so we don't lack for accommodation.
We don't.
And this is a very exciting property. I know Lamore and the team very excited about this one. Goes up for auction on the 24th of Feb, Philip.
Looking forward to that there. I think I've got auction honours there, so looking forward to doing that auction.
Absolutely. Now, we promised we're going to keep the show a little bit shorter, so we're going to do that, Phil. But I just want to talk a bit about the market, because what I love our institute body, our institute body. By the way, great brochure there for Kieron Street too. Lovely photos. But Phil, I want to speak about, while I fumble here, and try to make out that I'm not. I want to say that the ROV have put out this fantastic article about the fact that property prices, no, they're not going down, Phil, because in Maryborough, they have gone
up. They found the suburb.
Maryborough's gone up 6.4%. How about that?
Do you know where Maryborough is? Quarter. I believe Maryborough is actually a beautiful country town.
Well, there were trots there. I know there's a Maryborough. I've lost my money in the Maryborough trots before. But the First National Real Estate owner, Craig Bell, has said the numbers were a little bit steep, he thought. A little bit steep on the median there, but it certainly has gone up. So Maryborough has certainly been one of those suburbs that have gone up, which is very exciting.
Yes,
and the president,
it's gone up in Maryborough because, Gary, there were 3 sales last year, and there were 3 sales at the top end, so the median price became higher. So I'm not quite sure, viewers, if there's much to draw on from the Maryborough statistics.
Oh, well, Philip, you know, they're talking about things happening all around that Ballarat. Soldiers Hill, also another area where things are going up. Ballarat house owners hit gold. So, look, there's good news. If you're in Ballarat, you've done all right. If you're in Maryborough, you've done all right. I think we'll just leave the conversation
I just want to close on this, Gary.
Look, have a look. Hey, shock house rise.
If
You
are trading up, viewers, in the real estate market, it is always better to trade up in a market that has perhaps taken a correction. So, for example, Gary, if you were living in a home for $1 million and you wanted to trade up to a $2 million home, and I know that's a fairly wide jump, but I'm using it just because the statistics are easy. Let's say your $1 million home dropped by 10%. So $1 million has gone back to 900,
yes.
so you've lost $100,000.
Yep.
But you're trading up to a $2 million home that's also gone back by 10%.
And may have gone back more, because sometimes the bigger ones go back more.
So,
let's say same 10%.
So the gap in a stagnant or falling market it's better to trade up in under those circumstances.
And a lot of young people are taking advantage of it.
Absolutely.
And you know what? Despite what they talk about with the bank, we've got a great broker who can get funds for people and seems to be able to have done it for a lot of our clients and done it really well. So we're not doing a big sale job here, but I've got to say, Philip, it is an opportune time, and you'll be happy to know that Wonthaggi also went up, Philip. Okay. So it's not all good.
Viewers, a stumbling, difficult entry into 2019 because clearly we have got sun, sand, surf, and snow on our minds. Having said that, by this time next week, we will be pumped. We will be invigorated. We will be far more fluent in GPTV. So thanks for watching the first episode of 2019 of GPTV. My name's Philip Kingston. Have a fantastic week.
I'm Gary Peer, and Happy New Year. We look forward to giving you lots of nonsense and information through the year. Bye now.